Lady in the Fire. Imran sighed and threw the magazine he had been reading aside. He looked across the room at two of his station mates, Alex and Ravi, who were busy trying to outdo each other, lost in their world of make-believe provided by the gaming console between them. He looked at the clock.
Remy should be on his way back with the food by now.
Grumbling to himself on why Remy was taking his own sweet time to get dinner, he reached across the table and grabbed a tin of biscuits, absent-mindedly munching on them while staring unseeingly into the television screen as the two characters tried their best to kill each other. A good hour passed by before Remy stepped into the station, his hands laden with bags of food for his mates on their shift. Ignoring their loud complaints, he set the food on the table, made himself comfortable on the nearest sofa, and began texting his girlfriend. Imran shook his head and collected his packet of food. They were happily tucking into their meals when the call came. Immediately, there was a mad scramble as they pushed their dinners away and prepared themselves. The timing of the call annoyed Imran, but the urgency of the situation gave him the adrenaline rush to make him forget about his food and quickly put on his firefighting gear. In no time, they were on the light fire-attached vehicle, quickly making their way to the location. Each of these vehicles could fit 4 firefighters. It was more compact than a conventional fire engine and could tend to fires on a smaller scale. In this situation, 2 such vehicles were dispatched.
Probably a small fire. We'll be back in no time,
Imran said as he settled into the seat. Alex turned to him and shrugged. It was anyone's guess as to how large an uncontrollable fire situation could be. Luckily, the location was in a small farmland on the outskirts of a major housing estate. Imran and Alex immediately tended to the fire of a small stone hut a few meters away from the main house. Both buildings looked abandoned. The other firefighters worked on the surrounding bushes. Eventually, they managed to control the fire from spreading further. Imran, Alex, and his station commander entered the hut, senses on high alert. The hut was small with one smaller room at the back. A burning fallen beam in that room caught Imran's attention. He tried to extinguish it, but the fire did not die down. He tried again, but the fire continued blazing, flames dancing lazily around the beam.
Alex!
He yelled as soon as he saw his mate enter the room.
There's a stubborn one over here!
Both of them tried to put out what seemed like a small fire, but failed. Imran was getting frustrated when he glanced back and saw his station commander at the door with an odd look on his face. "Step back!" he commanded. Alex and Imran turned to each other. "This one is different," he mumbled. Both men stepped out of the room. Alex made his way to the main door, but Imran was curious and he turned back. What he saw shocked him to his core. From his station's commander's back, he saw the figure of a lady in white, floating as if in a trance on top of the fire. The flame leapt merrily at the bottom of her. It was then when he realized that the woman had no feet. He stared, transfixed, at the figure, his feet heavily planted on the floor. He could not move.
Sir,
He croaked, finally able to find his voice.
why is that?
His superior turned, his eyes warning him to shut his mouth. This can be put up the usual way. Go outside, now! He commanded sternly with urgency in his voice. At that exact moment, the figure looked up and stared at both of them. She opened her mouth and laughed at them, or so it seemed. For there was no sound of laughter. It was as if she was just miming a laugh. Imran did not remember how long he was rooted to the spot, mesmerized by the silent act of laughter from the lady. His station commander muttered something under his breath. Imran somehow found the courage to utter a few prayers before he turned away, but not before witnessing the figure disappear through the roof of the hut. The fire puffed out suddenly, and all that was left of the strange incident was a charred beam of wood. Imran turned and somehow managed to stumble out of the hut. The other firefighters were busy packing their equipment, totally oblivious to the incident inside. Imran climbed into the vehicle, his hands icy cold and his heart pounding rapidly. The station commander came out of the hut not long after. He gave Imran a knowing look, but did not say anything about what they saw back at the hut. They cleared the equipment and quickly sped off into the night. What do you think? Who was that lady? How did the fire start? Your guess is as good as mine.